Hi there, and welcome to this series of videos for React TypeScript. Um, there isn't a predetermined amount of videos that I'm going to be making for this. This is going to be an ongoing series where I'll be starting off with the foundations and the very basic implementation of a React TypeScript app. And then we're going to be building on top of that, adding components, adding elements, starting those elements. And with every video that I'm going to be bringing in, I'm going to attempt to implement something new so that a video is a reference point for something that you might want to learn more about. The initial stages of this is going to be very simple, but for those of you new to React and wanting to get into TypeScript for React, hopefully this series of videos is something that you'll be interested in. What we're going to be trying to attempt with this specific video in part one is getting to this screen that you're currently looking at, which is essentially a scaffolded React TypeScript application. When you've installed it, it's the very first thing that gets generated. So before we get started, we are going to need to install Node.js with Node Package Manager. And there are two ways you can do that. The first way is you can go to the Node.js website and download the version that is needed and then, just install that. Or use the tool that I've been using for a very long time, which is Node Version Manager, which allows you to switch in and out of different versions of Node without, having to go and download the installers every time and uninstalling Node from your computer and reinstalling Node. So NVM allows you to switch your Node versions on the fly. Once you've installed this, what we're going to do is we are going to open up PowerShell in administrative mode, and we are going to install the version of Node that is required. So we'll do Node Version Manager install or NVM install, and we will say 11. So what this will do is it'll grab the latest version of Node.js at version 11. It'll download it to your machine and then install it, but it won't activate it, and I'll show you in a second. So if we now run nv in node-v, you'll see that we've got version 12 active, even though I told it to install version 15. All nvm install does is it adds it to the list of available Node.js versions on your computer. You can then decide which version you need. So if you go nvm list, you will see that I've got version 17, 12, 11, and 10 installed. For the purposes of this project and to have the least amount of conflicts, the version of Node that I'm going to be using is version 10. So we're just going to grab that. So we go no nvm use version 10.2.4, and now if you run node-v, you'll see that we've got version 10.2.4. In order for this to take effect in Visual Studio Code, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to close Visual Studio Code and open it up again. Awesome. Okay, so now that we have Visual Studio Code installed and we have Node-v, we've got version 10.2 active. We can also check npm-v. We've got version 6 of that. Okay, so as part of npm package manager, you get npx, which is the tool behind npm that npm uses in order to execute packages and actually, like, if they have executable scripts to run installers and applications. Once you've installed Node packages, that is where npx then kicks in. Now you can actually use npx to install a React app. The command that you would run for that is you'll go npx create React app. So that's telling, oh wait, excuse me. So now you're telling npx to create a React app. The next property you want to add is the name of the app. So we'll just call this React TS vid1. That is then the name of your app. And now, because I'm going to be focusing predominantly on TypeScript, we can just go hyphen hyphen template, and we'll say TypeScript. This will now create the application for you. It'll install all the node packages you need. It will then create the app in your directory, and it will then actually go ahead and build the application. The nice thing about this process is it takes a lot of the manual configuration for configuring tsconfig, your TypeScripts, all the nitty gritty parts of creating a React app. This takes it away from you and just allows you to get cracking on building your app as quickly as possible. Great. So now that npx has finished creating our React app, if we go to the top left of our Visual Studio Code, we will see the app there. So I'm just going to clear this for a second. And now I'm going to go into that folder. I'm going to out it out. So there's everything. Now, the next thing we can do is we can run npm run and just run that. And that will then list all the npm run commands. For those of you not familiar with npm and the npm run commands, npm run commands are essentially command line scripts that you can run from within npm. So instead of having to type out React scripts start, React scripts build, you can just do npm run build, npm run test, npm run inject. I'm not going to be doing this for the purposes of this series, because that then puts you back into a point where custom configuration is required. But for now, what we're going to do is we are going to run npm run build while we're inside of the React test vids. This will then build the application, compile it for you, ready for deployment. Once that's done, we are going to do npm run start. And what this will do is it'll spin up a Node.js server, and it will then present you with your local host. Just to double check that this is the right file, what we can do is we can open up the app.tsx file. It says edit the source app.tsx and save to reload. So what we will do here is we will go, this is so cool, look ma, no hands. We will then save that, and then you will now see this is so cool, look ma, no hands. And that concludes the beginning of the first video. I hope this helped you in some way to just say, oh, okay, that's how you create a React application quickly and effectively. Next, we will start looking at cleaning it up and getting it nice and uncluttered, and to a point where we can start writing our own custom application code. So see you in part 2.